Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. When I was in sixth grade, I learned about the dangers of mixing ammonia and bleach. 2 years later, when I was in eighth grade, I decided I had to try that. I took a 2-liter soda bottle and I placed a few drops of ammonia and a few drops of bleach in the bottle, and I watched the uh, liquids fizz up, and I quickly put the cap back on before the gas could escape. And the bottle got very tight. I went outside because I thought the bottle was going to explode. The bottle didn't explode, and instead I just had a really tight bottle filled with chloramine gases, and I tossed it out without opening the bottle. So somewhere in a landfill, there's still a bottle filled with chloramine gases because plastic takes forever to decompose. When I was in eighth grade, I also started messing around with other chemistry experiments. I discovered how to make sodium chlorate, a high powered explosive, and I made a small amount of it and put it in the fireplace and burnt it. Woof! I had blown up a phone. I put some in a phone book and I burnt it, and the phone book was poof. But I wanted to make even more sodium chlorate. It, it's made with electrolysis of salt water. The process is very slow. It took 2 weeks to make a small amount of sodium chlorate. I had gone outside in our backyard and I placed a extension cord into a bucket of salt water and I plugged it in, and the reaction went out of control, producing a ton of chlorine gas, and I couldn't get anywhere near it. I ran to the basement to turn off the circuit breaker. When I came back, everything was charred. There was almost nothing left of that experiment. My dad was so upset, and he took all the chemistry gear I had in my room, and all the books that I had collected over the. I used to love to read my dad's old chemistry textbooks, and then my mom and I would go shopping at the thrift store, and I would find books to buy about chemistry, and my dad took that all away from me after that chlorine explosion experiment. Oh, you guys know that I love working with bismuth art, and I sometimes come up with fancy ideas that blow up in my face as well. Um, I I really hate when any amount of bismuth gets lost when I'm working with casting things, right? Because bismuth is almost a precious metal. So what I'll do is, if there's any shavings of bismuth, and I'll collect it on paper towels, and then I'll put it into my furnace to burn. And one time, I had opened the furnace door, and everything in there just caught fire, and it made a very acrid smoke, and it made me dizzy. And I discovered that if there's any uh, uh, if there's any nitrites, it could form cyanide gas, and that's what was making me dizzy. And it had it. I read that cyanide has an almond-like smell, but it didn't smell like almond. It smelled more like bleach more than anything else. Well, last year I discovered how to extract polonium 210 from dust in our background. So when radon decays, it makes, among other things, lead 210, polonium 210, which is positively charged, which then sticks onto the dust around the household. And so I got a really sensitive Geiger counter and discovered that the dust around our house is somewhat radioactive. And I decided to concentrate the polonium 210 from it. I dissolved the dust in a bunch of piranha solution. As soon as the dust hits piranha solution, zuff, it makes a huge column of steam. And then I distilled off the piranha solution into another beaker. And then I put the Geiger counter onto the sludge at the bottom of the beaker, and it gave off an SOS kind of sound. It was that radioactive, and I panicked and cleaned everything up. I thought for sure that this might not go too well, but I might think about start doing that again because I have some ideas on how to mass produce some of these radioisotopes, and see if I can come up with better ways of doing that. Anyway, what's the craziest science experiment you've ever done? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.